So if I said you had an A person, and you had anti-A, anti-B, A cells, B cells, I asked you to fill in your plus and minuses, right? Okay, now what I'm going to start doing is I'm gonna start giving you the reactions. And you're gonna start telling me the blood type. Okay? Because isn't that what you're getting in the lab? You're getting the reactions, you have to be able to interpret and tell me what the blood type is. So from here on out, that's what you're gonna have on your test. So if I give you that as the mom, and this as the dad, you're gonna say the mom is A, the dad is B, and then I could give you the baby, as the, could that be their child? Those kind of things. So you would say the baby is an O, right? Well, if dad was an AO and mom was a BO, they could have a B child. Okay. So like I said, from here, and this is a lot of the last part of your final, is I give you the reactions, you're gonna tell me what it is. And when we get into a little bit more of it, you're gonna know components as well, correct? So if I give you this serological result, and I give you this as the donor, could you give this person this blood? No, right? So again, just being able to read your reactions and be able to tell what the blood type is, because isn't that what you're gonna do with your job? You're gonna get the reactions in the lab, you gotta determine what their blood type is. And you gotta determine whether or not you can give them the blood. Okay, what the problem is. At some point, I add in AB, but that's just combination of A and B. Only because clinical science asked me to, but we haven't done anything with it yet, and that's coming up. But anyway, so that's kind of where your final is. So a lot of it is just questions from your previous tests, and then after that, it's I give you the reactions. You're going to answer questions about it. Okay, what type of blood would you give this person? Or could this be their child? Or, you know, those kind of things. Looking at your reactions, can you tell what to do with them?
Is A2B the least common combination?
Sure. Then you get an A2B negative, well, you're really in trouble. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay. One more thing I want to do. On this next test, this is a lot of your points. So I don't know if this is a good study tool or not, but it kind of, so on your test, I have multiple choice questions like, of these three, who's present at birth? Or which one doesn't match the others? You know, as far as IgM or IgGM, I give you 3 IgGs and 1 IgM, and you're gonna pick out the IgM. Or which of these 4 does not cause a transfusion reaction? And those kind of questions, but those are like multiple choice. But then at the end, you have, where you're basically gonna fill in a chart, some similar to this. I give you the description, so I ask you who doses, and then you're gonna fill in the blank as far as who doses, okay? So, in your list, who doses? Does RH dose? Yes, right? C's for these, right? Does Lewis dose? No. Now, what I've always told the students in the past, but again, you can make up whatever you wanna write in here to remind you. But I had them like put RH here, but then leave that blank. And then put MN here, and then put S, and leave that blank. And then when you look down, you saw just 2 doses. And then a bunch of them then made up little rhymes or little things that they could remember as far as how, but you guys do it however you want. But I'm just telling you, this is the kind of information. These are the clues I'm giving you, you're gonna fill in the blanks. I'm gonna give you the blood types, I'm gonna give you the description, and you're gonna fill in the blank.
Is
Okay?
this kid and the monkey eat the M&Ms with the dosage? Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good, yes, yes.
Okay.
Kids and Duffy the monkey
Yes.
eat M&Ms, right? Right, so kid, here, Duffy, the monkey, eat M&Ms. Yes,
K or kids
One's
is
the monkey?
JK?
kid is JK.
Which one's the monkey?
RH,
Oh,
the
okay.
rhesus monkey. You know, that's the monkey we got AIDS from.
So it's 4,
The
right?
little monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
LE too?
No.
No, the MN and S.
The kids and Duffy, the monkey, eat M and N's.
Okay.
So fine.
Okay.
Who's destroyed by enzymes?
Back.
Duffy.
I should know swear.
So again, you can just look at your sheet and fill out. Who's enhanced? Of the ones that we did. Kid.
Blue.
Okay. Who's IGM?
M&N.
I have one of those.
Lewis. M and N.
Kind of like reach in and out
C.
there. Pretty much, yeah.
And I. Who's IgG? Everybody else. RH. S. What did we say for Lutheran? M or
M.
M. IgG.
And B was IgG.
IgG. Okay. IgM. P, IgM, IgG, IgG, IgG,
He said Lutheran.
IgM.
IGM.
So who are your room temp reactors? Lewis, alright. M and N. Did we say Lewis Lutheran was room temp? Okay, Lutheran. P, I know P is. And I. 37 AHG. RH. S. Cal. Duffy, and kid. Hemolytic transfusion reaction, HDN, hemolytic transfusion reaction. That's Kelly's kids, right? Love sunshine. So, Cal, Duffy, kid, S, RH. And that should fill up, it should be the same in that column, right? So that's an easy one to get 2 on your test for that. So like I said, some students just kind of made up little rhymes to help them remember. Whatever works for you. To me, it's just a memorization thing. Of those blood group systems, it's not on here, but it is on your test. Which one do we consider the one that likes to run and hide and cause delayed transfusion reactions? Kid, correct. Which one floats away on storage? Not Lutheran.
Lewis.
Lewis. Exactly right. Exactly right. But again, there are multiple choice questions, like which ones are present at birth. Of that blood group system, which one do we use for paternity testing?
MN.
M, right? M and N, yes. Of that blood group system, who's associated with malaria?
Isn't that also Lewis?
Malaria.
Isn't that also Lewis?
I'm sorry?
Isn't that also Lewis, or is that the other L with him? That was only Lewis. It's not.
Duffy, yes, he just said it, Duffy. Duffy's associated with malaria. So those are the kind of multiple choice questions that you have. Okay. So again, multiple choice. So I'm really good at, that game they play on Sesame Street, right? I don't know who's these glasses on. That's probably sat on them. But like, one of these doesn't look like the others, one of these doesn't belong. You have several questions like that. I give you 3 that match and the one that doesn't. Okay, so of those 3, of the 4, which one is room temp, or which one is cold, or which one is, significant, or things like that in your multiple choice. But I think this is 30 points, if I'm not mistaken. It's 30 or 31 points.
You said you put the key up for the,
Which one?
Key up for this?
for the like that list that we had?
I did. Did you not
I
get
didn't
it?
see it.
Like the third?
Okay, I
Last
made it
night.
available on Blackboard.
Isn't it
Yeah, I
just
didn't
for
see
you?
it last night.
Remind me, and I will print it for you in the letter. But remind me and I'll print it.
I thought, I wasn't here. I know I didn't do it, but, I mean, I did do it,
So,
but I
would you
wasn't.
like to do it now, so you get your 10 points?
Sure.
Okay,
I just tell you.
sure, just tell it, that's all they did.
Kid,
Uh-huh,
present at birth,
yes,
it doses,
oh, absolutely.
it's enhanced by enzymes,
Mm-hmm,
it's IgG,
mm-hmm,
it is cold reacting, so you use AHG.
right,
Yep. It binds complement, it's an immune reaction,
it is.
and, what's HGFN? I forgot.
Hemolytic disease of newborn and hemolytic transfusion reactions.
I put no, but I just read, it's yes.
Yes,
for
it is,
both.
yes, yes.
Sorry.
Very good, yes. Yep. And another thing about kid that you wanna remember, is kids like to run and hide, so delayed transfusion reaction.
It
The
was
one that's
named
pretty
after a woman, I
significant.
know that.
I'm sorry?
It was named after the patient.
Oh, there you go. Sometimes it's whoever invented it, and sometimes, like in your hemophilias, it's named after the family. Not. It all depends. Just makes it tricky for us. Okay. So again, 30 or 31 points in your test out of 100, so that's pretty significant. And again, just memorization. Just memorization. Okay. You do not have a Punnett square this time. You do have ABO discrepancies, but again, kind of like your last ones. So you're going to tell me what their probable blood type is. Circle the discrepancy, and then is it a missing in the forward? Is it missing in the reverse? Unexpected in the forward? Unexpected in the reverse? And then you're either going to tell me the reason for the discrepancy. So again, you could say newborn, elderly, whatever, or you could say put it in your refrigerator. Either answer would be correct. Okay.
What notes are on this test?
This is DAT, IAT, and other blood group systems, and genetics, and immunology, and ABO, and RH. It's everything from the beginning. It's all cumulative. So I do repeat a question or two pretty much on every test from a previous test. So, might be good to read through your old tests, especially if you missed a question or two. I tend to try to pick ones that everybody misses and try to repeat them.
So like the 3 you threw out.
Well, except this time I printed the test before I graded the test. So unfortunately, so you will see them in the future, but on this one I've already sent you to the print shop. So you getting the questions that last year's class missed a lot. But anyway, no, I didn't get one. But I will on the next one. Okay. And so I think this test is really only 4 pages. It's really not a whole lot of questions because, like I said, this is 30 points. So Okay? Alright, so we have a review sheet.
I don't know. Maybe inside. Motion test on the clip. Isn't this still operated, what, 8%?
About me.
Tonight you're gonna kill it at 10%. Did it tell you this? Before, I couldn't get the whole thing. Yeah. 'Cause it changes, like,
Oh my God.
and then went out. Then,
Jane with McLeod syndrome. Huh?
McLeod.
Huh?
I thought that was McLeod, so when you said McLeod, I was very confused.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it McLeod? I don't know. McLeod? I don't know. But what blood group system is associated with that?
Arch.
I'm sorry?
I'm guessing, I don't know.
Cal. Yes, Cal. Chronic granulomatosis?
Granulomatosis. That's a key word for something else.
Chronic granulomatosis?
I knew some of these words.
Should be the PowerPoint right after the one we just saw first. It was the same blood group system. Cal. Okay. Which blood group system is sex linked?
You're looking at me.
I don't.
That's actually from a previous test. Or previous PowerPoint. Which one's sex linked?
I'm guessing. I don't know how to guess.
The previous is an
I'll
RH.
go ABO.
XG,
What?
XGA.
What?
Sex linked. XGA.
When did we get that blood group?
That was in like the genetics PowerPoint, I do believe.
And it was 3 letters.
Look at your screen. Look at the last one on your screen that we're doing in class. You have that? You have that sheet that I handed out the other day?
Oh,
The screen, the thing that's in your screen?
we can write it up. You said it
No,
up.
I handed it out. What's the last one?
I don't see an XGA.
And what does it say above it? Oh, it
This
doesn't.
thing?
Yeah.
There's
No,
no
no,
XGA
no,
on
no,
here.
this thing. That thing.
Don't know where I put it.
Sometimes it'll say sex linked. So XGA is your sex link. So just remember sex and X, it's easy. Which blood group system do they use for paternity testing? M and N, yes. Which blood groups, which antigens, yes, on pregnancy and on storage, yes. So which blood group system can change due to your pregnancy?
RH.
Lewis floats on and off, and it changes during pregnancy, right? I guess I have that on there. Loses antigens when pregnant or on starch. I'm sorry. Causes delayed hemolytic transfusion reactions. Yep, kids.
Darn kids.
Them darn kids. So again, of these blood group systems that are listed, because those are the ones that are on your test, okay? Which ones show dosage?
M&M. Yes.
Kid and Duffy the monkey eat M&Ms. Yes. Yes, exactly. Room temp reacting in that bunch. M&N, Lewis, P, right? AHG reacting. Kel, Duffy, Kid, RH, and S. Who binds complement? I don't know. Who's naturally occurring?
Who's contain what?
That's basically just the review sheet. It's just basically the chart.
And it's only these ones that you have in parentheses.
So,
Government.
yes. And these are your criteria. These are your, what's the word I'm looking for? Descriptions, characteristics. There you go. There you go, characteristics. So now looking at all the blood group systems that you've learned so far. So that's everything starting with ABO, correct? So of all the blood group systems, which ones are IgM? ABO. Now I'm asking you about all of them. So don't forget about ABO. They are IgM. Yes. And then your warms, we've already talked about those. Frequencies. So you know the frequency of your D, right? 85% are D positive, 15 are negative. You've learned that already. On your worksheet, that big sheet that we filled out the other day, I give you frequencies of all of them. I'm not asking you to memorize that. I'm asking you to look for the outliers. Little I. How many people how many grown adults have little I? Right? But how many of them have big I? 99.9%, right? So pretty much everybody has big I. Cal. What's the frequency of Cal? Only like 9. Not very many people have it, right? So what are your chances of getting a unit of blood if somebody has the Cal antibody? Pretty good, right? So based on your gene frequency. Of the RH blood group system, which one is the most common? Little e. Remember, 98%. So what I want you to look at when you're looking at those gene frequencies, just look for the outliers. The ones there's a lot of or there's none of. Okay, that's basically where I'm going with that. Okay, so big I frequencies, and then not present at birth or present at birth. And that's in that on your worksheet as well. So the big I blood group system, adult cells versus cord blood. Adult cells have which antigen? Big I. Cord blood has little I. So we talked about this in class the other day. If you have a person who is agglutinating with every single cell,
Get some cord blood.
and what will the cord blood give you as a reaction?
Hopefully a negative.
Negative, or at least a very weak positive, right? Right. Because remember, you cannot rule out on a positive cell. And doggone it, if everything's positive, you're screwed, right? And this is a really good registry question. They'll give you panel results, and every single one of them's positive except that last cord blood line. Which antibody do you think it is? You would say I, because it's reacting with everybody except for this one. Another good thing another thing the registry likes to trick you on is your check cells. So again, what are your check cells telling you?
If it's
not
not
your
true
reactor
reactor.
What's a true negative or positive?
The
What are your check cells really telling you? Why do you do them? When do you do them?
to make sure.
At the end.
At the very end, after you've added what to your tube? Correct. So what are the check cells telling you? It's a quality control. It's telling you that your cell washer worked, got rid of all that extra stuff. It didn't neutralize your AHG, and that your AHG is working, right? Okay.
You always have to do check cells, correct?
Unless your AHG is positive.
Okay.
But if you were positive at immediate spin, and then it became negative as you warmed it, and you did the AHG, and it was negative, you would still do check cells.
Okay.
Because your check cells are checking your cell washing and your AHG, sorry. Okay? So if your check cells do not work, Not in my lab, because, whatever. But in real life, what would you have to do? Start all over again, okay? If in the scheme of things you're washing your cells, you have to wash them 3 times, and in the middle, and you're walked away and you're talking to somebody about what you brought for lunch, and in the middle of that whole process, your cell washer ran out of saline, and you don't know, did it wash 2 times, did it wash 3 times, did it only wash once? What are you going to do? Yes. You are going to refill your saline and wash it again, because you don't know. How many times can you wash? 6, up to 6, right? So if you stuck it in there and you don't know if it did 3, doing 3 more isn't gonna hurt you, right? Because it's not over your 6. Yes, ma'am?
If you do it more than 6, is that an issue, or is that just a common thing?
You can start seeing lysis of your cells. It can start hurting the membrane, and then your cells can start lysing, and again, a time thing too. If you're not getting off with 6, you might as well hang it up. So yeah. So if you don't know how many times you wash, just simply wash it again. You don't know. Okay. Compare your DAT and your IAT procedures, and how are they different? I think I asked you this question on your lab quiz today. I think I did. No, I don't. I think I took that off. Oh, I guess I do. Okay, so it is on your lab quiz today. Okay, so compare your DAT and your IA procedures. Their differences and whatever. So with your DAT, so what is your DAT telling you?
Whether or not you're reacting against yourself, if you've created your own antibody in vivo.
Correct.
What?
So we drew your blood and we did a DAT, and your DAT was positive. So what that's telling us is when we drew your blood, you already had antibody attached. Where did that antibody come from? Possibly. Could have been an auto against your own, right? But what if it was a donor cell from the donor? You produce the antibody against their foreign antigen, correct? So it can be an auto, it can also be an alloimmune, right? Either one. So that's what the DAT is telling you. We drew blood, we took your red cells, we washed them, what did that washing do?
Washed away the extra.
Any free antibody or any free proteins or anything that could cause a false positive, right? That's your dry cell button. And then we added AHG, which is antibody, right? Anti-human globulin antibody. So we add AHG, and what AHG does is basically finds that antibody. Let me get this one out of the way, sorry. Bringing these cells together, and you get agglutination. Right? So the antibody was directly attached to that red cell in your body. We drew your blood, it was already there. Direct, right? Okay. And then IAT procedure. So DAT, we're using your red cells, we're washing them 3 times, we're adding AHG. In your IAT procedure, an IAT procedure, we did it for week D, right? We did it for your antibody screen. We're going to do it for your panel. We're going to do it for your cross match. It's a procedure. What you add each time is different. With the DAT, you're just adding it to AHT. It's a direct anticoagulating test. With the IAT, it's just a procedure. Okay? With the IAT, you're adding patient plasma. What's in the patient plasma?
Antibodies.
Antibody. What are you adding? You're adding red cells. You don't know what that antibody is, right? But by adding a red cell that has an antigen, and you know that, right? Because that's on your antigram. That's what your antigram tells you, is on that red cell, what is the antigen? Somebody's already typed it for that. So if your patient binds to this red cell, and then we add our AHG, so we have a couple red cells, an antibody attached, and then our AHG is a really big one, apparently on this one. It binds it. We get agglutination. What did we find out? If it bound the D antigen, we now know that this antibody is D. That's exactly what we did in the weak D procedure, right? In your antibody screen, we didn't know what the antibody is. We didn't even know if it existed. We didn't even know if they had one. That's what the whole screening process is for. We added patient plasma. If we got agglutination, then we know that patient has some kind of antibody to a antigen on reagent cells, which could be your donor, right? So your screen just finds it. They are O cells that have been antigen typed. We know what the antigen is on those red cells. You have an antigram. You have a roadmap. If your antibody screen is negative, then we know your patient didn't have an antibody against any antigens on those screen cells. Those are the significant ones, right? Those are the significant ones. And it was negative, we can go on. Do an easy cross match. If it reacted, then we have to find out what it is. Your screen just finds it. The panel that we're going to do next week is going to narrow it down for you. And a panel is just more screen cells. Where we only did 3, now you're going to do 10. Okay, I'll let you rule it out. Show you 2. All right, so what's the difference between the DAT and the IAT? Did you wash them? At some point you did, right? You washed the DAT at the very beginning. Did you wash the cells in the IAT? After you incubate, read 37, you wash your cells. So cell washing is the same, not in the same place in the procedure, but you still have to wash. You add AHG to both? Yes. Okay. With your DAT, you do a 5-minute incubation at what temperature? In the IAT, you do a 20-minute incubation at what temperature? 37. There's your difference. The temperature of your incubation. There's your difference. Okay. When do you use a DAT? What did we say a DAT would help you diagnose or help you with your troubleshooting? So if you have a baby, right, that's anemic, so hemolytic disease is a new one. Transfusion reaction. If I give somebody blood and their hemoglobin is supposed to go up, but their hemoglobin goes down. If I draw that patient's blood, and and they have antibody on their red cells, voila, I have a transfusion reaction. They're building an antibody against that.
What does the N stand for, transfusion reaction?
It's RXN reaction.
Oh, okay, sorry. I got it. Okay.
Even we had, yeah. When else can your DAT be positive? Certain drugs, right, can give you a positive DAT. An autoimmune can give you a positive DAT. When would you use an IAT?
Anytime you do a cross match, right?
Weak D, right? Antibody screen. You just said it,
Cross match,
cross match,
a panel,
panel. That would be antibody ID. Yeah, okay. And what are they detecting? We already went over that. Antibody already attached to the red cells is DAT. Antibody in the plasma is the IAT. So that's what they're detecting. So what are check cells?
Discontinued red blood cells, donor blood.
They are red blood cells with D antigen and D antibody already attached.
You said that's what checks are.
That's what check cells are. They are O positive cells with antibodies, so they're sensitized. You already have the antibody attached. When do you use check cells?
As a quality control.
I'm sorry?
As a quality control.
As a quality control after what procedure? When you use AHG. Exactly right, when you use AHG. What are your expected reactions? What should your check cells give you? A positive reaction, okay? And when would you get that positive reaction? After washing, after adding your AHG. So if your reaction is negative, what are you gonna check? What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to repeat the whole thing, but you don't wanna repeat it wrong again, right? So what two things are you gonna check? Your cell washer and your AHG. Exactly right. Do I need a new bottle of AHG? Is my cell washer doing too much or not enough? Okay,
This if it comes out negative, right?
correct. You're gonna repeat the procedure because it come back negative. But if you don't change something, you're gonna get negative again, and it's just gonna, negative, 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 right? I know you guys don't know this, but at the cell washers that we have a little device at the end that adjusts how much water it sucks in, so it doesn't suck in too much, slows the flow of water, if you will. So you have to adjust that. So what Gretchen did before class started, she ran it empty, and then you stop it at a cycle when it's full, and then you open it up and see how full your tubes are. Because obviously if it was over full, you're gonna wash away your cells. And if it only fills up this much, you're not getting enough. Okay, so that's something you have to do. So again, maybe that's something you need to do. Check your cell washer. Did somebody, maybe they just put the little valve back into the box and accidentally hit it and closed it by accident, and your tubes are only filling up this much. Okay? If it overfilled, what you'll get is no cells at the end, and we've had that problem in the lab too. The students are like, oh, what's this? And twist it half a dozen times before Barb sees that they're twisting it, and then it's like, ah, and their cells are all washed away. But then you wouldn't get a reaction, you wouldn't get any cells. Okay, your ABO discrepancies, again, you have 4 this time. So you would get a 1+ in the A cells because A1 antibody, right? No antibody in the reverse could be from baby, elderly, immunocompromised, okay? 4+ in all your tubes, polyagglutination, yeah. 1+ in unexpected tubes, probably more like rouleau, right? Okay. And then what if your auto control is positive? What is your auto control telling you?
What is
Auto antibody. You have an antibody against yourself. So I get all A's this time, right?
So the IAP, the DAT, you said is the antibody and the red blood cells? That's what-
Antibody already attached to the red blood cells, yes.
That's what it's detecting.
Correct. The IAT is detecting antibodies in vitro, in the test tube. You know they're in there. We gotta get them to bind in the test tube,
And you said in the plasma.
in the plasma, yes. Yep. Unidentified antibody in the plasma. So next week, we're learning panels, antibody ID, and we're learning AHAs and WAHAs, autoimmune hemolytic anemias and warm autoimmune hemolytic anemias, AHAs and WAHAs. And then the week after that, because next week will be a normal week, the week after that, you guys have a holiday, that Monday. And I got a grandbaby due at the end of the week. And so I'm going to teach Tuesday, Wednesday, and Jean's gonna have you at the end of the week. We only have one PowerPoint that week. It's just compatibility testing. Compatibility testing is everything you've learned from this week. Everything. ABO, RH, antibody screen, antibody ID, cross-matching. Taking donor blood with patient blood, mixing it together, and can we give it to you in your transfusion? So it's only one PowerPoint, but it basically encompasses everything you've learned so far. Okay? And then we'll do that one. And then the next week, it is your take-home test, moms and babies, and components. That'll be your next presentation. I'll give you a component, give you the worksheet, you're gonna tell me, what is the storage temp, how long is it good for, what is it used for, that kind of thing. Week 7 is, we're gonna do your practical, okay? So, week 6, Jean is out of town. So you will have me at the end of the week. So you have me Monday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you don't have me again until Wednesday the following week. So I won't put your test on that Wednesday. I will do a review that day, and then your test will be Thursday, first thing in the morning. And then, and you're gonna take your test that Thursday, and then you're gonna go to lab. And Gretchen's gonna be here, so it's gonna be a 3-hour lab. And it's going to be the first patient of your practical, which is 50%, half of your practical. It's the first patient, ABO, RH, antibody screen, antibody ID, so you're gonna have all of 3 hours of lab to do that, okay? And then the next week, we do moms and babies. There's nothing new there. Moms are, now we're back to week D, right? So ABO, week D, babies are just a forward and a DAT. You've done that. It's just now we're putting a name on it for a baby, all right? And then week 7, we do your practical. So we'll split you. So you'll have me for lecture, week 7, and then your lab will just be your practical. So we split it 6 and 6, so you're not all crammed in one at the same time. And then week 7, your blood bank lab will be done. And then your blood bank final will be that Monday of the 8th week. And then you've got this Monday. Barring any snowstorms, rain, snowstorms, bomb threats, or water outages. That's my list now. Okay, so winding down. After compatibility testing, that's it. That's everything. And it's just applying it, being able to figure it out. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, so I have a lab for you to do. You're gonna do a ABO, forward and reverse. Read your scenario as far as who your patient is, as far as whether or not you need to do week D. If you don't need to do week D, you leave it blank. If you want to play and do it just for fun, fine, but don't put it on your quiz paper, okay? And then a DAT. So your patient needs a type and screen and a DAT. Now, I give you a purple top tube and then a separate plasma sample. So remember, the purple top tube is for your forward and your reverse. but your antibody screen has to be met separate sample. And don't use that for your reverse, because then you're gonna ABO discrepancy and all three. Then DAT that from your original. Okay. Questions? I need a little bit of time. I've got your red cells made up, but I don't have your antibodies. I need to put them in the tube. I didn't want to put them on them also. I just need to sort them in there. So how about 9:30? Would that work? We start at 9:30? And when you're done with your quiz, you're good to go? But remember, I'm not chasing you out the door. So if anybody has any questions,